Now in this video, we'll be planting my new field I just bought this year. And if you missed our last video, I went over all the details of buying the land and exactly how much it cost. But before we can get to planting, I have a bunch of work to do to get the field ready to go this spring. And first thing on the to-do list is soil sampling. This is their soil sampling rig, and then they have a laptop on the four-wheeler, and they outlined it, and then they know every single grid, every single point. And while he's soil sampling, I'm just walking the field here, looking for random building pieces. May come in here and vertical till this fall. The ground's probably gonna freeze up in a week or two. Down there, as we walk, we're gonna see some pretty gnarly tornado damage on the trees. Here's a piece of tin. The good thing that this field was corn, because if you had to run your soybean head a couple inches off the ground around here, you would have maybe ran something through the combine you didn't want to. And it's good we're doing the soil sampling now. I'm just buying the field. I haven't done anything. I haven't added any fertility into it. And so we know where we stand before we start farming it. And that tornado would have went through right about where the train's at. This is where the tornado went through, so I'll probably have to at least chainsaw these back, get them out of the field for sure. Right, he's got all the samples in little bags, and then we'll get it back in a few days. So now I'm at the bottom of the waterway. It snakes all down through here, and it looks pretty good. It's pretty good, like, established. There's not a rut or anything through it. Then I think lining the waterway on either side is 2 8-inch tiles, and so that's draining neighboring fields uphill. And whenever I'm talking about tile, or say clay tile, this is what they did before the 1980s, 85, and then they would just butt them together. So this would have been an 8-inch clay where these plastic are now. Probably was there for 70, 80 years, and they replaced it with the plastic. There is a little easement road to go down along the fence and through the field for a neighbor to get to his property and stuff. Either put some really big rock here is probably the best solution. Just sinkhole, so that's where we're gonna throw some of the concrete in, and then the neighbor wants some of it too, whatever I don't use. Grant's off in the distance dialing in a vertical tillage tool we're gonna use here. So this year it was corn here. To help with the residue, we're gonna hit it with the VT once, real nice and light, and the idea is just slice up some of those corn stalks. Should help us get in that much earlier and get the seed in the ground a bit quicker. Ground warms up a bit more. I got to load a 3-inch rock here at 5 ton. I don't know if the dump trailer is going to lift her. They kind of loaded it front heavy up. Just testing her out.
I tried dropping it in the ground and adjusting it. I can't get that.
Grant tested it. He likes how it was running. We just need to adjust the depth. This looks pretty deep right here for sure, because when you dig down, yeah, that's probably, I don't know, 3 inches, solid 3 inches. The deeper you do go, the more dirt that's on top of the corn stalks, the less they blow, which is nice. Try and keep that in the field. You're sizing up all these, cutting these in half 3 times, whatever, and then you're hitting some of these root balls here, so they start to break down faster. We got it where we wanted it. I don't know, it's not going very deep, and the corn stalks aren't blowing. It's a very windy, cold day today. We got him all dialed in. I'll jump in it and finish the field here.
And now you left me with this empty spaces, got oceans on my back, and I'm feeling the waves of all the love I have washing away to you. And I wish that I could take away the weight that all of this shit brings. I feel like you're across the harbor, really you're 100 miles away.
All right, we're getting along here pretty good. I'm on the bigger part of the field, the square part. Triangles over there, that's done. Grant's in the side by side, picking up tin, twigs, and then we got some sinkholes or suck holes. I think there's some tile running underneath the waterway that is broken. So he's marking that out here. Here's kind of the waterway here coming up and around. It's working it pretty good. Today's 20, 30 mile an hour winds, and I'm sure it's gusting up to 40. So if corn stalks aren't gonna blow today, then they probably won't blow. And there's a little easement pathway right here. It's pretty small, pretty smooth. Just kind of lift up real nice. Here's kind of how the farm lays. It's the southern borders here. Once we got over this hill, everything's flowing down to the waterway, and up and around there is the triangle. So pretty cool. Now this is what the field looks like 2 weeks after running that VT, and here the ground is froze up for the year as winter has came in. I wasn't able to fix the tile blowouts before winter hit, and I'll come back in the spring to get those fixed before we start planting. We got some repairs to make in the waterway. This is a suck hole. There's one here, there, another one out in the field down by the tree line. I don't have tile maps for this showing me where all the tile is in the field. From satellite images about 10 years ago, it looks like some tile was run up on each side of this waterway. Looks like mains draining somebody else's field. So it's sucking dirt, obviously, and some corn stalks. We're gonna try and get this repaired. And after doing a bit of digging here, this is what I found. This clay is full of dirt, like 100% full. It looks like they hooked onto the plastic. So it does look like water's jumping in here and sucking down. That's why there's this big suck hole here. So I'm sure it's the same thing up there. All right, got the connection made. I don't think this really flows too much water. I kept digging uphill, and the clays kept getting full of mud. So. This is the next tile blowout. I just got dug up. There was the first one. Here's the next one. It's actually a different clay, quite a bit deeper, I believe, going at a different angle. So again, looks like they hooked up to plastic here. This looks big. It looks like different clay tile compared to that one. That looks older, or I don't know, just a different clay color. Now this sinkhole wasn't nearly as bad as the other one, so it's not sucking that much dirt. Really, the main reason I'm doing this is it's a good excuse to dig down, see what's in the field, see what's flowing, and start to get a feel for where tile is in this field. Because I Obviously this field is new to me. So it looks like it's 6-inch clay here, a bit of dirt on the bottom, and then into 8-inch plastic. I think it was sucking where this connection was. I'll have to make a better one here. I gotta go grab something, but I'm gonna go, there's one more suck hole down in the actual field, not the waterway, and see what we need there, and then I can go run and get proper stuff. This is the next sinkhole here. You can tell it's sucking a lot of corn stalks. I can't quite figure out just yet. So 6-inch it looks like. Water is wanting to bubble up like right here, like underneath the pipe. Lots of sand, lots of rotten corn. So I pulled the 6 out, not a big deal. Looks like we got, that's our culprit right here. Something's blowing water up, and that actually was this, I think, 6-inch clay. And so that's what it was. When they installed this 6-inch plastic, they came and went right through this clay, and then the clay was still working or could get to this plastic, and so it was sucking dirt because it was broken. And this is what we rigged up, a little Y 6-inch, reduce it down to this 5-inch clay, and then just internal connectors there. This pipe will work good. This is a little sketchy, this connection right here. I just throw a bunch of scraps over it just to protect it. But if anything, we made it better, didn't make it worse, and there's nothing wrong with this right here. I just tried to tie in this clay because it's still flowing. I already started backfilling this one. This is 8-inch plastic to 6-inch clay. That one was easy to connect, just had a reducer. Just throw scraps over it and we'll backfill it here. This is the last one in the field, so some good dirt there. Now before we get to planting the field, we got our soil sample results back. And here's what those look like. The field average on organic matter was 3.7%. The average pH was 7, and our phosphorus levels were really good, above average, but our potassium was lacking a little bit. And in general, most of our micronutrients were pretty good levels. So now the field is ready to go after all the work we've done, and we're gonna get planting our beans here. Today's April 10th, we're going to plant my new field into soybeans. So this is my brother Grant's 12-row planter. We're gonna use his 8000 series tractor. It's fairly early on the calendar to be planting, but it's really good conditions right now. And then the 2-week forecast looks really good too. So soil temperatures are warm enough that we're good to go on soybeans. So over the past week, we've went through the whole planter, made sure everything was good, but you really don't know if it's good until we get out in the field, test it, seeds in the ground. We'll be planting Pioneer soybean seed and then Channel. So we'll split the planter half and half, and then we'll know exactly come fall what yielded more. The nice part about my field is it's only a mile away from here, so short drive, we'll be by the shed. It's actually a good one to plant first in case something goes wrong. This is what the field looks like now. We came in a VT this fall. That is what we got. A little bit of crust going on and bare spots. But like I said, just a little bit. Not a big deal. Planter's gonna go right through that. It was nice that VT got all those root balls, sliced some of the corn stalks up. These are our row cleaners that I'm gonna adjust here. They're set to 1. We'll go 1.5. I know they need to go deeper, so we can always adjust it later too. These just push all the residue out of the way, so there's a nice little spot for the seed to go. So row 7 wasn't planting, those seeds were coming down. We undid the plate there, kind of messed with it, and then dropped the row cleaners, and then the seed's going too deep, so we made a few adjustments. All right, row 7 is working now. All rows are going just fine. A little too deep, so we adjusted the depth. And this is the job it's doing. You can see it's pushing out some of that residue. I don't think we need to lower them, and I don't think we need to raise them anymore. It's doing a good job here. We'll just randomly check for depth. These little dots here in the soil are the closing wheels. They come back and push the trench closed, so there's soil over the seeds here. There's a bit deeper. Right there is 2 inches. Yeah, it's right at 2 inches. We could probably make an adjustment on that. So now Grant's come in and we're gonna fill that planer completely full and really get going.
We may need about 2 more.
We made another depth adjustment. We actually lowered it. So we were playing at 2 inches there. We're kind of shooting for 1 3/4, 1 1/2. It's pretty nice. These are really good planting conditions for so early in the year, April 10th. We got a lot of dust coming up. And they say if you plant in the dust, your bins will bust. So good spring, good planting conditions. Last thing you ever want to do is plant when it's way too wet and you kind of mud it in, nothing closes. We are officially going here, done with the end rows. I've done 2 or 3 passes. We're going east and west right now and just getting kind of through the waterway, tricky spots. This is the square part of the field. Then up there, I'll do tonight, probably finish up when the sun's going down. Pretty happy with it. Grant got a new ATU 200. This is super tight and working good. Last time it would like shake and wave all over the place. Slow down here, throttle back, bumper down a couple. And then we're good. Little update here. We found a rock in the field, and while I was doing that, I checked our boxes, and we probably have 1/3 to 1/4 of seed left. We are out of seed there. So we've done 25 acres of like 46, 47-ish. Sun is about to set and we're rolling. So probably 30 acres down so far, over halfway. I got a bag here in case I need it, and I think we'll finish this field with a bag or 2. And there is looks like there's a 2x4 right there. We're gonna have to get that on our next pass. Looks like we went over it with the VT there. You can see the marks. We're getting done with this section of the field. Sun is starting to set there, so we need to keep going. So the wind calmed down, I can actually talk now. We're just pushing away any debris in the way. Not really moving any dirt unless there's like a weird low spot. Or we got a plug in the row unit, so it was dragging. I think either a bunch of mud is caked in here. I gotta clean it out. I went like 1/4 way down the field and caught it. Wish we would have caught it a little earlier, but not a huge deal. Alright, we should have it fixed here. Got it all cleaned out. There's no mud in there, so we'll give it a shot. Spinning, it's spinning. Just fine. Come on. Alright, it should clean itself pretty good here. That killed an hour messing around with that, but we got 15 acres left. Here we go, my last little end row. We are done with the field right there. Worked down the seed as good as I could. We're pretty much empty there, and we are done with the field. Well, it's the next morning now. We got the field finished last night. Pretty much everything went good besides that one row unit that was plugging up. Just got some mud in the disc openers and they weren't spinning. Not a big deal. So now I got to get this folded in, and then we'll take it back to the shed, empty it out, get these early maturing beans out, because a new variety of beans will go in to plant Grant's field. It's now 5.5 days after planting soybeans in our field here, and we will dig and see what the beans look like. There's a couple beans there. They're starting to swell up. There we go. Here's a better one. Then there, it's starting to shoot up. So these should emerge in 5 to 6 days based on our forecast and how many GDUs we're going to get, and then chance of rain this weekend, Sunday. And so right now, 5 days later, we're spraying a pre-emergent, and all that does is stop new weeds from growing. So all these weeds right here that are sprouting and coming up like that, this pre-emergent is not going to kill that. That's one negative to not field cultivating in the spring, is that field cultivator most likely would have taken a lot of these out, and then when they came back to regrow, the pre-emergent would keep them. So we'll see how spraying goes, and I will do plenty of updates here on this soybean field. This was planted April 10th. There's a slight breeze today. It's the perfect direction. With spraying, it seems you don't want too much wind, and then you also don't want no wind at all. So today's a good day, and this is just pre-emergent here. And now we're back in the field 13 days later on March 23rd. 3 days ago, it was Easter Sunday, and we got a perfect 1.5 inches of rain here on the ground. And it happened over like 24 hours. So it was a slow, misty, very calm rain, which is absolutely perfect. You don't want it to downpour all at once. And these are what the soybeans are looking like right now. So I'm finding these guys poking out of the ground right now. That is like the stem there. There's a better representation. So that's actually in another day, I'm sure it'll look, we'll help them out here. And this is good to see. Obviously, heavy residue areas, it's going to take a second for those guys to poke through. Bare spots are going to come up the fastest here. So we'll come back here in a few days and really check how our emergence is. Now it's April 30th when we are back out here. This is 20 days since planting. This is what it looks like. They're coming out of the ground. Pretty nice. There's the rows. We're looking good. Cannot complain at all. And we're looking good going into May with plenty of rain since Easter here. Now today is May 9th, pretty much a month since we planted this field, and it's looking pretty good. The soybeans are up now. They've been up for a while, and here's what they're looking like right now. They should be taken off here. There's moisture about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 inches deep here. Our forecast is looking very warm and dry for the next 7 days. Chances of rain in 10. So that spot, pretty bare soil, and then here is like a row with a lot of residue in the way. Soybeans are super forgiving, and they come up kind of no matter what, as long as it's touching some sort of soil. And yeah, liking it. Can't complain at all with the weather we've had. We've had 3.75 inches since planting here. We've had a couple pounding rains that kind of created this crust in the soil on bare spots, but we don't really have to worry about that. There are still like a few beans that are behind or planted in a weird spot. Not too worried about it. And as I'm walking through the field, they're all coming up here. Like this guy right here is struggling because that crust was in the way. So pretty cool to see it coming up here. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be planting corn here next.